Hi everyone, it's Frith here again. This is the second part of the second take of my fourth video for the LHP series, and if you haven't watched the first part, go and watch that first before you watch this, because it's follow on. And as you can see, I put my hair up, which in woman speak is getting down to business, is trouble or something, and slightly change the camera angle. Anyway, so I'm going to move on. I left the last video where I was my sixth session, which was the first time I did a group session, and I wasn't sure how it was going to go, because you know, when just doing a session for one person is quite a task. You know, you got to really focus and set your intentions for that person, and I experience this as quite intense. So I thought, my God, I'm going to do 4 people at once. You know, I need to get some flippin' healing work done here. You know, we need to get the show on the road. So I had 4 people in one session, and what I did was I in my mind's eye, I saw them sort of 1, 2, 3, 4. I have very clear images of them in my mind, their faces, their bodies, and then during the process, the steps, I saw as each step was completed, I saw that work being done for each of them. 1, 2, 3, 4, and it worked. You know, it wasn't such a. I'm actually going to move this up here. Oh no, I'm not. Oh God. All right, here we go. So sorry about that. So it was also the first session where I got feedback, because I didn't. I don't tell people when I'm going to do the session. I mean, some people ask me, or have asked me to do the session for them, and I've offered to do it for most of the people on my list so far, but I don't say when it's going to happen, because I don't know. I'm still sort of planning these sessions, and I do 1 a day. I want to do 2 a day, 1 in the morning and 1 in the evening. But I'm such an early bird. I wake up very early, and by the time the evening comes, I'm like, I'm out, you know. So I did these 4 people, and then the next morning I let 3 of them know that I had done the session, and each of them, one said, gosh, you know, just at 7:11 in the morning, she must have looked at the clock. Something shifted in her, and she related an experience to me. And then somebody else told me about the dream, and the third person said, my ego went on holiday. And I mean, really, those are their stories to tell. So I might ask people to give me some testimonials at a certain point, but it was nice to get feedback, sort of confirmation that something had happened, and it might have been just coincidence. You know, I don't know. I don't think so, but that was a very interesting session, and it was nice to know that I could do it. It wasn't that difficult, because, you know, I was able to do 4. I have a friend who can do up to 6, and I'm like, well, how do you 6? You know, but maybe I'll build up to 6. Then session 7 was amazing, because it was a family group, and this family, there's 6 members in it, 4 children and 2 adults, and at the end of the session that I did for this group, family group, in the supplement section 11, I decided to do the harmonization thing for this family, because 4 children, can you imagine? I mean, 1 for me is enough, and 4, fuck, and they all, I think they're sort of like all under 10 or under 8 years old, so you can imagine what it's like for this group. And so I thought, well, the least that I can do for this group is to get a nice sort of balanced, harmonious energy between them. And during that part of the protocol, I saw them, visualized them standing in a circle and facing each other. And then the circle sort of just split into, they sort of shifted into 6 points, like a star with 6 points. and then the energy started sort of shooting between them like a backwards and forwards, and just each of them touching each other with this energy, and it sped up and it was going, and then at a certain point, as a group, they just morphed into a fifth dimensional Merkaba, a light body. I saw it sort of shifting around, and it was amazing. It was just beautiful, and I've got this thing with a Merkaba. I don't know how you pronounce it. I say Merkaba. It's the light body. And in fact, the day that I did this session, which was on the 8th of the 18th, a year ago, almost exactly. I think it was exactly to the day. I became obsessed with drawing the Merkaba, because it was actually laid down in a cornfield in Wiltshire, in England. What are they called again? You know what I mean, huh? When sort of orbs come down and create those. You know what I mean. So I was sketching this stuff, and as I was sketching it, I felt that sort of that activate in me. Sacred geometry is very interesting, people. You should look into it. And so I saw this group morph into a Merkaba as a whole. So I really hope that some incredible healing takes place for them. But what I did was I sketched the Merkaba, and I'm going to show it to you now. And I'm not going to hold it up for too long, but if you look at it and you just allow your focus to slightly shift out, you'll start seeing a cube, the triangles sort of invert and then pop out again, and there's 6 points, which were the 6 points of the family. Each family member stood at, so there was something else I wanted to say about this. Oh, I really want to give this to the person who I did the healing session for. You know who you are. So I would like to post this to you, so please send me your address. And so that was a very special session. It was a very beautiful image, visual I had, very special. Right, who was next? Oh, then it was the weather meddlers, and I'm going to name and shame this bloody group, because seriously, you know, they're responsible for an enormous amount of chaos, especially what's going on now. Look, I don't need to convince anybody that our weather is being manipulated, our climate is being geoengineered, and these fires that are going on are being deliberately set. The information is out there, people. Just do your own research. It's going on. So what I did was I did a session for what I called the weather meddlers. That was how I introduced them to Source. But for the purposes of the session, I subdivided them into 3 groups, into the deep state, dark suit weather meddlers, who are the ones sort of organizing and setting up these programs. Sorry, I'm still a little bit symptomatic from a cold I got a few days ago. I'm feeling great though. Coming back to that. And then the other group is, and again, whether you believe me or not, doesn't matter. There's another group who are above the human element of this weather modification, which is an ET alliance that are really messing around with our world. And then there's a third element, which are the people who are executing this program, who are the chemtrail pilots, or even the people who are unaware of the fact that they're involved in a very nefarious program. So I I set my intentions on these 3 groups, and I did the session. It was a very powerful one. I really hope it helped, because we're in serious trouble. I'm not going to go into that, but anyway, that was my next session. And then I think that was session 8, and then my last session, I had a session today, but it's still integrating. I'm still trying to figure it out, so I'm not going to talk about that one today. But then I had yesterday was a incredible session, mainly because it was the most visual. Oh shit, it's 10 minutes. I'm going to send this, and then I'm going to finish off with my last one, okay? I'd like to ask Source Creator, please protect this work and allow it to be seen by the greater whole. Thank you. Bye-bye.